Hello, Ben Norcott from theathletecoach.com. Thought we'd sit down and have a little coffee and a chat. I've been asked a couple of times recently about a good screening tool for hamstring strength or posterior chain strength. And I can understand why people are asking this question, because when I get athletes in from a whole lot of different programs, sometimes they don't know their injury history or actually what they have done in the past. So apart from taking their injury history and obviously asking about their training, I've got a simple little assessment that I can do on a posterior chain. Why don't you take a look at this video and try it for yourself. See if you can hold it for 120 seconds. If you can, fantastic. Probably no need to watch the rest of this video. If you can't, come back and watch the rest of the video. Great, so you're back from the test. Did you pass or fail? Or did you actually pass it correctly? So a couple of key points from this test is you don't want any movement in this test. So the person is in that back extension, their knees are at 20 degrees and their bottom, lower back, upper back and head are all in perfect alignment. Through that test, if any of that alignment actually changes, that equals a fail. Why I really like this test is it's pretty quick to do. In fact, it only takes 2 minutes and you can do it on huge amounts of athletes. And the feedback that it gives to you as a coach or to you as an athlete is the strength endurance in your posterior chain. And it's quite a simple test to do, and people can self-select if they want to continue with the test or not. So that's what I really like about it, and it's not going to place massive danger on someone that may have a hamstring strength endurance issue or has a very low training base. Is this test based on scientific data? No, I can't find any scientific literature on it, but it's a test I feel very comfortable with, and I've used it for several years, and variations of this test have been around for a long time. So let's quickly talk through this test and the feedback that I tend to give players and other coaches and have used over the course of history. So if you fail this test, what I'm going to do or suggest is that you start a basic level of posterior chain training, and that we limit the amount of high speed running you do above 7.5 meters per second. So that's pretty high. And also might be a little bit cautious of your high speed running above 5 meters per second. For those that don't know much about high speed running, in rugby union, in the Southern Hemisphere and particularly in Australia, anything above 5 meters per second is considered high speed, while anything above 7.5 meters per second is called very high speed meters. Now, why we want to limit the amount of high speed running is that is more than likely the area where your hamstring could run into trouble, or you could get strains or tears if you don't have the strength endurance to actually, or strength that is as well, to handle that. So let's say you've gone through there, you've failed the test. Let's look at some exercises you can do. So if we're moving across here, here's some 3 exercises that I recommend in the sets and reps. So you've got a single leg reaching RDL, a Nordic hamstring lowering, a double leg Bosch isometric hold, and the sets and reps are there. So I'll let you take a look at the sets and reps and the recommendations. Just pause that if you need more time on it. Single leg reaching RDL. So as the name sort of explains, you're on one leg, you're raising your back leg as you push your arms forward, bending forward. Now the idea here is it's not only creating strength in your single leg hamstring, but it's giving you balance as well, which tends to be lacking in people with low posterior chain strength. So it's a very simple exercise, done very well. It will actually isolate your hamstring glute and give you a balance stimulus at the same time. Now the second exercise that I recommend is Nordic hamstring lowering. And with the Nordic hamstring lowering, You can see this exercise being performed here. You're lowering yourself forwards, bending at your knee, trying to keep your hips forward, but when that tension on your hamstring is too great for you to feel like you've got control, you can let go. So again, you can self-select how hard this exercise is. And as you progress through this, you may start lowering yourself down lower towards the ground before you drop and catch yourself. Now, the last exercise that I recommend is the actual test again itself. So as you go through your training over the next few weeks, maybe 1 to 2 times per week, see if you can actually do the 120 seconds on the double leg isometric hamstring test. Because if you can, that means you've actually passed the test. You don't have to retest. Every training session that you do this is a test itself. So once you've done that, then you're allowed to participate fully in all training sessions, including high speed. Now, I've done this over the last few years when I've accepted players in from club level programs to more advanced programs, and we've been very lucky where we've managed most people through this with no issue at all. And what's really interesting about the test, it actually has shown people that struggle with the test have had a history of hamstring issues, such as strains or potential tears in the past. Another thing that we noticed was people that had had ACL reconstructions that hadn't done all their rehab absolutely struggled with this test. But once we got them training correctly again, they got better. And they responded very quickly. So you may only need to be on the basic hamstring exercise program anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks, probably even a maximum of 4 before we'd move you up to more advanced. Hopefully you've really enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and if you'd like some programming that's tailored to you as an individual, please use the link below.